level. He wrote articles for 3 different Army magazines, Ordnance, Engineer, and Army Logistics. For 3 years, he served as chairman of the National Guard's Bureau's Executive Advisory Group for Logistics Excellence, which advised the National Guard Bureau on logistics policies affecting all 54 states and territories. He is a graduate of Millersville State College and has an MBA from Penn State. He is also a graduate of the U.S. Army War College. His hobby was flying, and he held instructor ratings for gliders, single and multi-engine airplanes, airplane instruments, and helicopters. He also has a seaplane rating. Chuck was a command pilot, instructor pilot, and mission pilot with the Civil Air Patrol for over 20 years. And he has been an ambassador for the Veterans Outreach of PA, VOPA, for a year and a half. VOPA's mission is to construct a therapeutic veterans village for homeless veterans. He believes the most honorable thing a veteran can do is help another veteran. So let's welcome Chuck Bechtel.
Okay, I need a little help handing these out. Maybe the students can help us. Bill?
Yep.
There's plenty here, Bill. Chill.
Get a few more.
Yeah, just give one per person if you can. Thank you very much for the invite and the opportunity for me to talk about something that's very important to me, that is helping fellow veterans. I also want to introduce Bill Havasovich. He's working right now.
Yeah.
See him right there? He is our executive director. He's also a former Marine. Bill has several degrees in economics, financial management, administration, and he's an excellent person for the job. We're very fortunate to have Bill on board. Next slide, please. Uh-oh, I got to do this and hold that also then.
That's forward.
Forward?
Yep.
All right. We are a 501. Okay, I have to stay tethered to the mic here, I understand, John, right? Okay, this is going to be a test of dexterity here. We are a 503. Let me try this without the mic, and you tell me if you can hear me. We are a 503c3 nonprofit organization, which means if you make a donation, it's tax deductible. Dave, can you hear me? You want me to use the speaker?
Hold it in your hand. That might make it easier for you.
Thank you.
There you
go. Okay. Thank you, sir. So we are in the process of building a community, a veterans community with 15 tiny homes. We will have a large community center. That will be where the veterans come to eat. I'll go over that in a minute. Our model is a therapeutic model. Our CEO has gone out to several states, has seen this in operation already. Our service plan, individual plan for each veteran with support of on-site caseworkers. Our outreach, obviously we are doing this in conjunction with other veterans organizations. For example, in Harrisburg, we have Bethesda Mission, which regularly takes in people who need a place to sleep, a meal, especially this time of year. We're in touch with other veterans organizations. Brigadier General, Maureen Weigel is the Deputy Adjutant General for Veterans Affairs for Pennsylvania. She tells us that at any given time, there's about 30 homeless veterans in the greater Harrisburg area. She also said there's a tremendous need in central Pennsylvania for a facility like this. There are a lot of nonprofit organizations that do things for veterans. They do a great job. There's nobody, though, that's going to be doing a 24/7 type operation that we're doing. That is our site located along the Susquehanna River. me see if I can do three things at one time here. Okay, that's the Susquehanna River. That is the main PennDOT building right there. That's the parking lot for most of the PennDOT workers. That site was donated by Peggy Grove and her son. It was an old steel mill. It's a great place right on the river. And of course, the obvious question was, since you're on the river, where it floods a lot, that is above the 100-year floodplain. This provides a safe, serene setting, but it's also in the Harrisburg area where there are numerous services available to our veterans. We have a copy. When people say tiny home, some people really don't know what that means. We do have a model tiny home that we actually pull on a trailer, and when we do fundraising events, we take the home out. We open the door, people can walk in and look around. And I will have a rendering of what that looks like later. So far, we've raised about $4 million, and I'll give you an idea where we are with our construction. That 1.5 million RACP stands for Redevelopment Assistance Campaign Program Grant. That is state money. As I said, we've established relationships with other organizations. And that last one's real important. We have a video of progress of our site, which started construction in this past June. We plan to have that construction done in the next 3 or 4 months. We plan to be intaking veterans by this spring. So we're pretty excited about that. That's the conclusion of 3 years of hard work. I don't know if everybody can see that. He's my. Okay, that's our community center. That is the community room. Those tiny homes will be in this area up here. The veterans will come in through this area. They'll take their meals here. We have a full commercial type kitchen right here. We have various meeting rooms for individual counseling or meetings. This will be the parking lot back here, and so visitors and the workers will go in this way. We have a reception desk. 6,500 square feet. This is a busy slide. The only reason it's up there is because over there on the right are all the organizations, the individuals who have actually sponsored various different things. And I'll get into those choices here in a minute. A lot of in-kind donations. First, we talked about Peggy Grove, who donated the land. And I want to drop down, for example, D&H Distributing is going to provide a TV in every one of the tiny homes. So those tiny homes provide a safe, secure place for each veteran. And in addition, they'll have a TV when they're in those buildings. For example, the 201st Red Horse Squadron is an Air National Guard engineer unit out of Fort Indian Town Gap. They got permission from the National Guard Bureau to come out and help clear the area. That was great because they're doing the same kind of training they do as an engineer unit, and it didn't cost us anything. And that, I think, is so indicative of so many organizations that have contributed money, in kind, and manpower. This slide is a bit dated, and so various organizations have signed up to sponsor various things. That one on the second one from the top, the headquarters building, just yesterday, Bill, you probably saw that. Yep. I received an email from our CEO that the VFW in Lebanon, did you see that, Bill?
Yes.
Signed up. So some of those things are not available anymore. I guess that's the good news. We had benches, for example, $10,000 for a bench. I think, Bill, the benches may be gone too, I'm not sure.
I believe there's still, one remaining.
Okay, thank you. The best thing to do, and I handed out those folders to you, on that little trifold that went around, in there you'll find our website. And I would hope if you're interested in the project, you would visit the website because it has a lot of information. When you get to the website, you'll see that in addition to people donating money, items in kind, we also are looking for people to volunteer. We go out and do a lot of fundraisers. Back a few months ago, we had a cornhole competition up at the, I see Bill laughing. Bill, that's not my idea what I would call it, but hey, they told me that's what it was. So we did that cornhole competition up at the Scottish Rite in Harrisburg. And it was on a rainy, nasty day like today. It was inside, so that was good. We had about 20 teams signed up, competed, and then we had a lot of organizations that donated prizes that people took chances on. That was just one of the many fundraisers we do. Bill, if I'm missing something here, jump in.
I sure will.
Okay, that's about that. I would like to have, I think, my IT guy. Okay. We have a.
Video do you want to look at first?
Yeah, let's take a look at the 5-minute one that was part of the website. Is that possible, John?
Yes.
This video is right on our website when you open the website. So you guys are going to get to see it without having to look at the website. But do look at the website because there's a lot of good information on it.
National Guard or Reserve is someone who, at one point in their life, signed a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including my life to protect our freedom. Veterans make up 8.8% of the homeless population in the U.S. In the United States, the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans estimates that at any given time, nearly 40,000 veterans are experiencing homelessness and are living on the street. In Dauphin County alone, on an average day, there are 30 or more veterans experiencing homelessness, according to the Capital Area Coalition on Homelessness. Our veterans deserve the support of the nation they have preserved with their sacrifice and service. Devoted to combating homelessness among veterans in the Harrisburg area, Veterans Outreach of Pennsylvania, a nonprofit 501c3, plans to construct a village of 15 tiny homes and a large community center using a therapeutic transitional housing model that has proven successful in other parts of the country. The stress of service in the armed forces, followed by homelessness, can lead to low self-esteem, and the circumstances that often lead to homelessness can make it a struggle to relate to others, which has a devastating impact. Very often, veterans' problems have more to do with what they are coming home to, rather than what they are coming back from. The military teaches men and women to be productive, purposeful members of the armed forces, but many struggle when they leave the service and transition back to civilian life. For some, the change can be overwhelming. Veterans Outreach of Pennsylvania embraced the therapeutic, transitional tiny home concept to transform those struggles into strength and purpose, and heal any invisible wounds of military service. This proven model will provide a therapeutic transitional housing option to assist our veterans in finding a long-term home and healthier life. A tiny home is fully furnished and satisfies many of the safety and privacy concerns that haunt veterans experiencing homelessness. Under the VOPA plan, each veteran will have an ADA-compliant 210 square foot home with a bed, sofa, closet, desk area, and bathroom. Unlike other forms of housing, the unique tiny home transitional housing model provides a personal environment for the veteran to feel independent, yet connected with their fellow veterans, staff, and volunteers. In addition to the tiny homes, a 6,500 square foot community center is designed to be the hub of the village activities. Here, residents will prepare meals, eat, do laundry, and attend educational and life skill programs to help them succeed. VOPA's Veteran Therapeutic Services team will work with each resident to achieve incremental lasting results in health and wellness, education, employment, financial literacy, and the development of a personal support network. Of added value is that residents have all served in the armed forces, sharing similar backgrounds, cultures, experiences, and challenges. The project will provide sanctuary and the emotional space needed for each veteran. VOPA's Therapeutic Support Services team can then thoroughly address the underlying causes of homelessness. The Veterans Tiny Home Village will provide everything veterans need to live, with dignity, safety, and basic amenities, free of charge. By building trust and relationships in an environment that recognizes the unique needs of each veteran, connections that support their goals will be established, along with the skills they need to achieve self-sufficiency and long-term success. VOPA's Tiny Home Project will be constructed through the generosity of individuals, businesses, organizations, and foundations. Please consider supporting our mission to combat homelessness among veterans by providing support and services needed to promote an empowered life filled with strength and purpose. Find out how you can help. Visit us at veteransoutreachofpa.org.
Okay, John, let's do the one with the
With the
construction.
construction.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said we were very excited about what's going on our site right now. And this is a time phase of what is going on. And I believe this is the one of the guys putting the trusses up, the roof trusses. You can tell these guys are very fast. They're the kind of workers that Bill recruits for us. Okay, John, I just want to give them an idea of how we're doing with that. Unfortunately, Michael Kalos is not able to join us today. Most of you know Michael, right? Yeah, Michael is my nephew. I think he was instrumental in having me invited today. And then he sent me a text before and said he was very busy and he couldn't make it. Thank you, John.
You bet.
So I would like to point out that there are several ways you can help. And one of the most direct and easiest, when it mentioned buying a brick. And individually or as a Rotary, you could buy a brick. My VFW bought a $500 brick. A $250 brick is 4x8. A $500 brick is 8x8. You can get 3 lines of text on a small brick, 5 lines on a larger text. This is the application for the front. Now, my wife actually put one in for her father. So Michael was involved in that because it was his dad who was involved also. And Michael's grandfather was a Navy Seabee in World War II. He served in both the Pacific and the Mediterranean. We had to do some digging to come up for that information. But on the back of this form, actually we're asking for you to give the information as far as the branch service, what he did, and a short bio of when he was in. Was he a door gunner in Vietnam on a Huey? That type of information. Because we plan on taking time in at the village to actually read these bios. If, for example, as my wife submitted that, or John, Michael's father, if they want to come in and read that, that'd be great, but we'll have somebody else read it. That's going to be good for the veterans. The veterans need to see the kind of support they have. So we just happen to have a bunch of these applications with us. Let me open it up for questions. Any at all. Dave?
Yeah, I'm impressed with your approach, but would add that this club is one of 40, how many clubs in the district? 40 clubs perhaps, and you have 30 homeless veterans. Sounds like there's a match going on there to me. So if you've got a package that's presented to every Rotary club in this District 7, I think, and it would be a help just to convey that.
Dave, that is an outstanding recommendation. And in fact, I want to talk to you after the meeting. We might make you a board member. But very seriously, I appreciate that. And you're absolutely right. For example, I belong to several, I'm a life member for the VFW, for the Vietnam Vets of America. But I've asked the VFW people for District 18, because they have about 23 different VFWs. I want to speak to them at the district meeting. Otherwise, I got to go around and visit 23 different VFWs. I understand you do have a meeting of the district or whatever you call it, Dave?
Yes, the current president and other people here participate on that on a regular basis.
Well, if someone can let us know that, we'd greatly appreciate it, and we'd love to make the presentation. By the way, I do want to mention, some people, I think it was somebody asked me, Denise, was that you? Somebody said, the thing that goes on in Lebanon, if you're familiar with it, each year. And they actually, and that's the VFW 23, they actually go out on the street and act like homeless people for a couple of days and make a lot of money doing it. So there are a lot of people doing a lot of things. It's a question, like you said, Dave, of organizing them and managing them right. I appreciate that suggestion. Yes, ma'am.
So you have set 15 tiny homes. Is there a time limit? Is this transitional? Can they stay there till they die?
Yeah, and that it certainly is not our goal to stay there until they die. We are hoping, we have 15, we have room to build 5 more if we need to. We are hoping, of course, to bring them in, what we would like to see. And by the way, we are coordinating with 2 organizations right now that are looking at building affordable housing in that area. Our goal, of course, is to bring them in, get them to the point where they're starting to have self-confidence and they're self-reliant, help them get a job, get them into the affordable housing. And that's going to be an important measure of our success, to get them back in society. So we're not building this as a substitute for sleeping under a bridge. We would really like. By the way, there's going to be certain protocols and procedures they'll be expected to follow. Just like we said, they go to the community room for the meals for a reason. They'll be expected to attend the classes. They'll be expected to participate. And we don't have a magic number that if you don't do it in a month, you're out. But we certainly are not looking at this place as just another place for them to live. Bill, do you want to comment on that, sir?
Sure. I think it's very important that you understand also we're trying to integrate them back into the community. They've kind of burned all their bridges. The average age of a homeless vet is about 54. That was shocking to me when I first came on board this organization. So they didn't become homeless overnight, and we know that there's a lot that has to deal with getting them back on their feet and getting them back into a community and creating new networks of people to which to attach themselves to. So it is temporary, but you could be there for a year, it could be there for a year and a half. Each individual vet will determine those types of things. But the idea then is in this community that they help actually create some of the rules and regulations. So there's a democratic process. We still live in the United States of America, and we still have a constitution and rights. So they're gonna establish some of these rules and regulations to stay in the community, and they're also going to help each other in peer-to-peer integrations or peer-to-peer work with each other. to get back out there and then to move into additional new housing for themselves and with this new network of support people. So that's what's really important. What's exciting is we have a lot happening in Harrisburg right now with other people building housing for low income and homeless populations there that we're connecting with and having regular talks with. And that's exciting too, as we're going to work together to bring this thing to some sort of denouement and make these veterans useful and purposeful and feel empowered and strengthened again. So that's a huge function, and it's just not a handout. It's just not a place to get off the street. It's really a place to heal. That's all I've got to say right there, Chuck.
Yes, sir.
Mine, two questions. The first one, just asking, are you determining an endowment so that has some long-term monies to continue to self-sustain yourself?
Yes,
That's one.
good point.
And then the other question I have is, these people are going to come with baggage,
Hmm.
and it's not their fault.
Yep.
We're not blaming them. And so you say they'll make the rules, and I'm wondering, well, predetermining that, who's going to establish the rules for what is tolerable at your facilities so that before then, because you could have people that could do things that are
Yeah.
simply not acceptable by you.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
that's a good point. And we're going through that right now. We're getting ready to hire the chief therapist.
Yeah, the clinical director. But let me clarify that they're going to be part of the rulemaking. They're obviously, you got to have right living, so to speak. But we want them to take ownership in part with what's going on in their community. It's their community as well. And so it's important that they have a voice in that community, and we're just not dictating everything to them. However, we all know we have an idea anyway. I know it's a subjective term, but we all kind of have an idea what right living is. And we want them to buy into that and say, yep, that's right living. So that if someone's violating that within their community, they themselves, as their peers, are going to say, hey, you know what? We all agreed that this was what we're going to do. You had a voice in this with the staff, and now you're violating this. How do we get you back on track? Or maybe they have to leave, So I just want to make sure that that's clear, that they're not the sheriff and the deputies and the judge and the jury and all that. Yeah, it's in collaboration with the staff.
And I understand, Bill, that we will have set protocol and so forth.
Yep.
So, there will be a structure, and again, they're expected to participate. And the other question, sir, I think on funding.
Yeah, the endowment or some form of.
Yeah, and we do. We have, and that slide I apologize, it was very quick. But UPMC, for example, if I remember, pledged $500,000, $100,000 for the next 5 years. And if you get a chance to see the website, I think you'll see that. I think we anticipate that the operational cost of this will be about $850,000 a year.
Correct.
And we're already getting grants from various foundations. And I don't know if anyone knows a guy by the name of Bill Reed. He is responsible for the YMCA to deal with homeless veterans. And he's been there for several years. And he can name to you every homeless veteran in and around Harrisburg and the surrounding counties. He's actually our vice president now. Every one of the board members that we hire, we try to pick up somebody who has a specific area that they can contribute to this. They're all good questions. Any more? Thank you. Yes, sir.
Where in Harrisburg? We say along the Susquehanna, north of the.
Yeah, it's going to be south. Are you familiar with the PennDOT building? Yeah, it's going to be just south of there.
Okay.
That area, by the way, people walk and ride down there by the river. It's called the Green Belt, and that's where it's going to be located, just south of there.
It's our side of 83, right? I think it's on.
Yeah, it's our side of the river. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Thank you so much for your attention. I appreciate that.